The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of either Spectrum Generations or Time Warner Cable. Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Hollywood Casino. There's no place like Hollywood. And by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
Hello, and welcome to Mature Lifestyles, brought to you by Spectrum's Generation. We like to live, laugh, and learn here, and today we're going to learn a lot about scams. I hope you've never been victimized by one, but we've got some experts here to help us out. First of all, we have a person known to many of our seniors who are viewing this. We have Mary Nichols. She is a caseworker of, I don't know what your title is at Spectrum Generations. You do so many things, Mary. What do you do there?
Well, I am a consumer information specialist.
Okay.
So I meet with people one-to-one to solve issues and to work on problems or insurance counseling. And I also work on the helpline. So our initial phone call to Spectrum Generations often comes through me.
And because of your work on Helpline and because you do know so much about all this area, I thought you would be a superb person to talk with us with our other very special guest, Amy Schramm. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes, Schramm.
Wonderful. Amy is from the Better Business Bureau. She told us earlier she drives a car that says BBB over it. And
all over it.
Not only that is it an interesting car, but it invites complaints. But more importantly, you're a problem solver and you're trying to help people avoid being scammed. But could you tell our audience a little bit about what the Better Business Bureau does and what it is?
Sure. Well, it was started about 100 years ago. Actually, we're in our 100th year right now. A lot of people
happy
may not
birthday.
realize that. Oh, thank you. I clearly have not been around for the last 100 years, but it actually started by a bunch of business owners who were upset with the way that businesses were advertising themselves, and they just felt that advertising should be regulated, and people shouldn't be able to say, we have a magic elixir and you take one pill and you're cured for life. And they decided to just start it up and as a way to regulate advertisements. And then about 30 years ago or so, it became much more than that with the internet becoming what it is and everything. There are about 4 million business reviews on the BBB website right now, and about 400,000 of them, a little less than 400,000, are accredited businesses. So it became more than just regulating advertising. It became about really regulating the businesses and making sure that they were being honest with the everyday consumer.
Right.
And that's really what it's been about.
And it's a place to go. If you're wanting a service or to buy something, you want to know if this is an accredited business. And accredited means that, how do you accredit a business?
There are about 8 standards of trust that the BBB holds businesses accountable for. One of them is just being honest and being transparent and open with their consumers and their clients that they do business with. And then there's one that I find kind of interesting, which is how they take in the personal information from prospective customers. If they're only asking for personal information when it's 100% necessary. They're only asking for credit card information and only asking for social security numbers when it's 100% necessary. And then if they are asking for that information, what they're doing with it once they have it. Are they disposing it, and when they are disposing it, are they just throwing it in a trash barrel outside the door, or are they shredding it? And if they're keeping it, are they keeping it safe, locked in a safe somewhere, locked in a filing cabinet? And things like that. So there's about 8 standards of trust. And then they're based on a letter grade as well, A through F. And of course, consumer review. If there's many complaints filed against a company and they're never closed, you know.
Then that's on their record, so to speak.
Definitely on their record, and they could be unaccredited as well.
So the good business people want you to know that you can trust them. And they feel that they are harmed too if anybody who does asphalt or whatever they're doing. They don't want a bad reputation from 1 or 2 bad apples to ruin the whole thing.
Exactly. It's all about integrity, and if it's tarnished, then it also reflects on the BBB as well, if there's a business that is accredited.
Because you're the hallmark, if you will, the gold standard. Tell me about you.
Sure.
You're a lovely young woman. How did you get interested in protecting people from scams?
Very good question. I actually went to theater school in Boston. I went to Emerson College.
Oh, good.
And then I've had some various jobs previous to this position. I'm fairly new, actually. I was hired in November.
Congratulations on that as well.
But before that, I was working as a motivational speaker for Monsters Making Account programs, talking to high school juniors and seniors about their college searches and their careers. I worked for the Walt Disney World Company, and I've always been about customer service, I would say.
Right,
I just love
and this
being
is
with
a
people
perfect place for you to use your skills and talents, isn't it?
Exactly.
And for the Better Business Bureau, what do you do right now? You're here educating us, but you do a lot of educational things, I'm sure.
That's exactly it. As the community outreach specialist, I give presentations on, educational presentations on scams and fraud, identity theft, how to give wisely to charities. I give presentations on the BBB in general. And I talk to Lions clubs, Rotary clubs, senior centers, library patrons, really anybody in our service area that wants our free educational service.
So Amy, I'm a citizen. I've gone to one of your meetings, the Lions Club, or I've watched it on this television show, and I really know that I've been scammed. How, do I have to be a member of anything to use your services? How do I find out before I'm scammed? Can I use your services in any way?
Absolutely. BBB.org has a number, a whole list of information. Actually, it's updated every day on new scams, and updated every day on scams that were already out there, and just the new developments on it. And my boss, Paula Fleming, she's the VP of Communications and Marketing. She actually does about 250 media spots a month, radio, television, newspaper, whatever it is, and so it's always out there.
So it's better before you purchase or buy to check things out through you.
Absolutely. To be precautionary is the best way.
Right.
And sometimes a lot of what I talk about is little tedious things that you can do to protect yourself, but it's worth it in the long run to take an extra 5 minutes, to double check a website or something, as opposed to years of trying to fix your identity.
I had a call not so long ago in my other life about a woman who had bought health insurance. Oh, it looked like such a great deal. It was cheap, and then it came time to use it. There was nothing there. She had not done what she should have done, and even it was too late then because the company had no assets and didn't even exist. But you would have, if they had gone to the Better Business Bureau, she could have found that out before she spent her money. Is that right?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, there's about 4 million businesses and charities that you can see right on our website. And some of them are accredited and some of them aren't accredited. If it's an accredited business that you do business with and you have a complaint to file, then they're required to respond to you within 3 days of filing that complaint. If they're not accredited, we can't guarantee that they're going to respond, but we'll still act as that middleman and hopefully help you and the business, or you and the consumer, come to a resolution.
So you do that as well?
Absolutely. The businesses can come to us as well and file complaints against consumers as well.
Tell me about that.
In a way, I mean, in a sense, it could go both ways.
Yes.
Maybe not come and file the complaint, but they can certainly, let's put it this way, the business is not always in the wrong.
Got you.
But it could be anything. They
So
could be
if they've
accredited,
been
they could be not
falsely
accredited.
charged or something, and then they can demonstrate that their record is impeccable, really.
One of the most interesting parts of the website, I think, BBB.org, is that you can see all of the complaints that were filed against a particular company. And you can see the back and forth between the company and the consumer, and you can see how it was settled or if it's still open.
Are there people, if you are not so good at using the internet and modern communications, are there people you can talk with if you have an office or an 800 number? Or?
Yes, the office that I'm based out of is in Marlborough, Mass, and we service Eastern Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont, and Rhode Island, and there's somebody always there during the weekdays to answer the telephone or to email if you email info@boston.bbb.org.
Because some of our seniors don't really like using the internet, or actually some of them use it better than their grandchildren, but at the same time there's an option both ways.
And I have used their website.
Tell me how you use their website.
I often get calls from seniors looking for information on certain insurance companies or, a reputable company, and they're checking that out and asking if we have any knowledge about good or bad information on them. So I can actually go, I actually can go on the Better Business Bureau's website and look that up and give them some accurate information about any kinds of complaints that have been filed. And so that they can have that knowledge. If, you know, I can't tell them, no, don't do that, or things like that, but at least give them the information so they can make their own choice.
That's a powerful tool for consumers, isn't it? So if you feel that you've been wronged or scammed, how do they report to you? Is it the same way? Because that's how you get the better information, isn't it?
Absolutely, and we encourage people to call us or email us if there's something that seems suspicious or they've been a victim of a scam.
How do you check it out to make sure it's not just some disgruntled person who wants to get even with their next door garage?
I know, everything is investigated. We have a private investigator that works right in our building, right in our office. He's a great guy, and he is always you know, coming up and down the cubicles saying, "There's a new one, you know, if people are calling about it, this is what it's all about." And unfortunately, they're pretty common, and they happen every day, and it's really, really in many facets, in many different ways, and through the mail, through the phone, the internet, many different ways, and it's unfortunate.
And people continue to find ways around, don't they, particularly with the internet?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it's harder to trace, you know, when it's with the internet. A lot of times, if it's an internet scam, it's somebody doing it overseas.
Oh, sure.
And there's
What's
no
your
way
best
to track
advice to an unwary consumer? I'm just going about my business. I simply want a new dishwasher, or I want to have my driveway paid, or my roof fixed, or...
The best advice, honestly, is to use the BBB website. If you are interested in a landscaper, let's say, you could go right to the website, type in the service that you were looking for, any service. Let's say it was landscaper. You type in your zip code, and a number of businesses are going to pop up. And again, some of them will be accredited and some of them won't. Certainly up to the consumer to decide who they want to go with.
So they still could find a good business, not necessarily there, but you give them that extra comfort. That's on the list.
Exactly. And that's not to say that if it was an accredited business and there won't be an issue, but there's always going to be a resolution or an attempt to resolve the issue.
Because the Better Business Bureau helps mediate those things.
Exactly. That's our job, to mediate and create harmony, if you will.
So you've been in existence, not you, 100 years.
100 years, yeah.
Which shows the need for that even when we didn't have modern communications. It's just amazing.
Exactly. I mean, now with the internet especially I feel as though it's so important to have. There's so many scams, especially on the internet.
Do seniors, are they impacted a lot by business problems? Do they call you? What do you see most?
Well, it's more the calls that we get are
for advice.
Majority are after the fact. You know, and it's like, oh, I did this.
So your advice is not only to check out the webpage, but do it before you purchase.
And that's the educational part of that, is that, you know, you really need to do your homework before you purchase something. And it's, you know, I always caution people, did you call them or did they call you? If someone else is initiating a call to you, it's usually they're trying to sell you something. And if you call someone, you know, you're looking for their service. Someone calling you and saying, well, in order for you to do this, we need your social security number, your check routing number, and all of those kinds of things. You know, it's like, don't do that.
Well, we all have a lot to learn. Please stay tuned. We'll be back with some of the most prominent scams out there. Maybe you can avoid them if you come back soon and watch the rest of our show.
This is the new Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, where you can win your share of $20,000 cash and free slot play during the Spring Into Cash giveaway. On May 19th, get red carpet rich with a grand prize of $15,000 cash. Earn entries now at the place where the fun never stops. From the thrill seekers to the blockbuster winners, here you've got the lead role, because there's no place like Hollywood.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy, live well. Get answers, get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
Life should be celebrated. It's a special day when family and friends gather together to celebrate the life of a loved one. A celebration of life helps us honor our loved one and keep our memories alive. Whether you're planning a traditional funeral, a creative celebration of life, or a blend of both, at Knowlton Hewins Roberts, we are truly committed to meet the personal and unique needs of you and your family. Knowlton Hewins Roberts. Visit us online or visit our 2 locations in Augusta and Winthrop.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyles. We are learning so much today about how to protect ourselves from those shady businesses, and frankly, they're not as many of them as there are great businesses. But Amy from the Better Business Bureau and our own Mary from Spectrum Generations, they're helping us know how to protect ourselves. And as I've talked with them, I've learned that there are all kinds of scams and things that are out to fool us and take our money, but they fall into categories in a way. There's some that are very common. What do you see a lot of in your business as the Better Business Bureau spokesperson?
Oh gosh, like you said, they come in all forms. We're
Right.
still getting scammed door to door, to be honest with you. We're still getting
Really?
home repair scams, absolutely. You know, people claiming that they're going to offer you a service, and then you pay them up front, probably in cash, that's what they want, and then they never show up. Or they do show up and you've never signed a contract, so they can do poor work and get away with it.
Right.
So that's a
All
big
right,
thing.
so beware of door-to-door salespeople unless you arm yourself with the tools. And that's the kinds of
Exactly.
things you're helping people
Correct.
with.
Right.
Prevention.
Right.
She mentioned signing a contract. Don't pay up front.
Right.
What else would you add to that protect yourself theme?
Well, if you're looking for the service, you initiate the call. I mean, I would never.
That's important. You said the same.
Yeah.
100%.
Someone knocking on your door, I mean, investigate those companies before. If you do sign a contract, there's a time frame where you can back out of that contract. So you're not,
Oh, that's
it's not
right.
set in stone that you have to follow through and commit to that.
That's
So
important.
get on the phone.
So they can call
us.
you, but they
Sure,
can also call the Better
Business.
Business Bureau. And I know I've learned a lot about the services that you offer today. And one of the ways we can find this out is your webpage. And so talk about that again. How do we get there? Because there's so much information there.
It's bbb.org.
bbb.org. So we
Very
can
simple.
remember that.
Pretty simple, bbb.org.
We were talking earlier, all of us have heard of the Better Business Bureau. We've heard it from our families, we've heard it from others in the neighborhood, but perhaps people aren't using it as much as they could to protect themselves from the scams that are out there.
Yeah, I think people would be very, very surprised at how much information is on
And
there.
the consumer
It's
doesn't
amazing.
pay. I mean,
No,
we
it's
can go online and get that
totally
information.
free,
So
totally
we're
free.
sort of foolish not to, really.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that we're a nonprofit. And our mission and our vision is to create marketplace trust, advance marketplace trust.
Because that's good for the good businesses too, isn't it?
Exactly. And so if the
So
more information we can have for people, the
In
better.
the financial world, and I know that's one of the things you're dealing with, whether you're banking or whether you're buying health insurance or whatever, are there scams around financial issues that you've been able to help people with?
Oh, absolutely. If you go to the website, you can see updated scams. Like I mentioned earlier, you'll see a whole list of scams, and every day we update them with new ones, and then
my goodness.
updates on old ones that we've already had. But there are certainly financial scams. People will tell you that, or they'll claim to be a creditor, and they'll say that they can help you get out of your debt,
Right.
and that they'll give you their services, and then they end up really leaving you in more debt by you having to pay them for their service, and they don't help you.
Right, so whether it's about your credit cards or something else. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
100%. That's my motto, actually. If it sounds too good to be true, it definitely is. And I grew up, my mother always said that to me.
And now you believe
now
her.
I really, really believe it. And it's tough because you don't want to believe that somebody...
Because you're trusting. You want
Exactly.
people to be as
Exactly.
trusting as you are.
That's exactly it. You don't want to believe that somebody that's coming door to door and looking you in the face and staring you in the eyes is telling you a lie. You just don't want
Do
to
those
believe
calls
it.
also come in the mail? I mean, the offers come in the mail as well as the
100%.
telephone.
Definitely.
So
Yep,
there's
over
no
the phone.
limit.
No limit. Over the internet, through social media, if, let's say you use Facebook or something, you get advertisements that pop up or viral videos that look like something your friend has posted. It could just be that they were hacked and somebody put a video up, and if you click it, a huge virus can be emitted
Exactly.
into your computer.
Oh, so then you're
Very
in
wary.
danger of losing your entire system
Yes.
if you get the wrong virus
There
in
was
there.
somebody who, I was at a presentation, and he mentioned that a friend of his clicked on a pop-up. When you're just on the computer and you're connected to the internet, a pop-up came up and it said, "We've detected a virus. Click on this link and we'll get rid of it." Well, lo and behold, that's what the virus was.
Some of them look very real. They have almost the identical logo of your bank. And they say, we're having problems with our system.
Yes.
Could you please re-enter your financial information?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
what would you say to anybody who told you that story?
Never do that.
Never give anybody.
I did want to comment
Yeah,
on the mail that people receive, especially around insurance carriers and things like that. You will get something in the mail and it will say return this card and for free information, and we'll send you something or we'll call you to make an appointment. That's an invitation to a company to actually feel free and legally to go and knock on that person's door to sell them something. And they have you returned this information, and most people don't understand what that is going to mean to them. So they're kind of like
free offers really are just to get your information.
Exactly, or it invites them into your home where they can talk to them and feel the pressure of having to buy something.
Mary, in your experience, would you say that particularly elders in our area are trusting because they're so honest and they have been taught that that's the way you do business? I know my dad always said you do business with a handshake, and that worked for him. But with phishing, what is phishing, by the way, other than what we do in June this month?
Phishing are suspicious emails from unknown sources or unsolicited sources. And one of the biggest phishing scams of 2011 was the BBB phishing scam, or the Bank of America phishing scam. Yes. Somebody, with all the technology out there, it's just incredible what these hackers can do. They're smarter than I am, and they can create emails like you mentioned earlier.
They look so legitimate,
They have the logo, they have the letterhead, whatever it is, they make it sound very official, and they scare you. That's the big thing about these scammers. They use scare tactics and pressure, and
if you don't call right away, your credit will be ruined forever.
Absolutely.
Or we'll revoke your credit card.
The BBB phishing scam was an email that went out to businesses that said, you're under investigation from the BBB. Click on this link and you'll, and we'll tell you more. To find out more, click on this link.
And I have to ask you, did people do that?
Absolutely.
Because even the most sophisticated people, when it's that well done, think it is legitimate.
Well, that's it. Again, you don't want to believe that it's not real, and you get scared. I know if I was a business owner and I got that email, I would feel threatened and I'd feel pressure to click it.
So how did that resolve itself?
Truthfully, educating people.
Yes.
Like I mentioned earlier, the VP of the company, Paula Fleming, she does about 250 news spots, and we're always updating the website.
I told people, don't do it.
Don't click on it. There were people that did call, am I under investigation? Because they want to know. If you do business with certain companies, your utility company or your bank, and you do business and you're not used to receiving information a certain way, and all of a sudden you're receiving an email, and you've never received emails before from that company, that should just be a big red flag to me. They never communicate through me, with me through email.
Okay.
So.
Exactly. So Mary says don't give out important information unless you're
Unless
absolutely
you
sure.
initiated it.
Unless you initiate.
We hear a lot on television and other places about identity theft. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
Yes, you'd be very surprised how easily it is for somebody to get your information and steal your identity. It could be they could steal it from your credit card information or your social security number. Never under any circumstance, if somebody's calling you, again, give out your credit card information or your social security. And if you're in a public place and you need to give out your social security, let's say at the doctor's office, we recommend writing down your social security number,
so others
slipping
can't
it
hear
to them.
you.
Exactly.
Another quick question. We all shop on the internet. They always want your credit card number. Is that safe? How do we know?
It depends.
We all love LL Beans.
I know. It depends. There is a way for you to roam the internet securely. It's by adding an S to the address bar, where it says HTTP. We recommend adding an S after it. So it says HTTPS, and then the colon and the backslash and the address.
Great.
So we'll have to call you and Mary to learn more about that, because we probably won't remember it all from today. Check cashing was one other thing. Is there something we should know about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There are people that call and they say that they're going to provide you, or if you are providing a service, if you're providing a service, somebody might be interested and send you a check for whatever it is that you're providing, whether it's a product or a service or something. They'll send you a check for
more than the amount.
And they'll say, "Oops, I made a mistake. Can you please wire me, the difference?" And while the check that you've deposited is taking a few days to bounce, they've already they've already taken your wired money.
Well, we have learned so much today, but there's more to learn. But I feel empowered. I hope our audience feels empowered and that they can call the Better Business Bureau or certainly Spectrum Generations, where they'll find Mary at the line. Stay tuned. We have some very important information about how you can stay happily and safely in your home.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy, live well. Get answers, get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
This is the new Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, where you can win your share of $20,000 cash and free slot play during the Spring Into Cash giveaway. On May 19th, get red carpet rich with a grand prize of $15,000 cash. Earn entries now at the place where the fun never stops. From the thrill seekers to the blockbuster winners, here you've got the lead role, because there's no place like Hollywood.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyles. We have a very special guest now who's going to tell us about lots of options for staying at home in a very good way, and that's Kristen Overton. And this is what she does. She helps seniors know what those options are at Bridges. Kristen, tell us about what our options are, because I am very interested, and I know most of our viewers are as well.
Certainly. Now, there's a movement, I'm sure you've probably heard of it. It's called Aging in Place, which basically means that people want to stay home while they age rather than going into nursing facilities. And certainly the statistics since 2000 have shown that nursing home admissions has decreased drastically in the state of Maine. And so there are home care options for people who want to stay home. Some of those include very basic services to much more complex. I guess the most basic to start would be things like housekeeping, meal preparation, grocery shopping, transportation, and errands.
So sometimes a simple thing makes it possible for you to stay home and be independent.
Exactly.
But you can move down the line in terms of more?
Certainly. Then there's things that come also, those are can be from home care agencies or housekeeping agencies. Home care agencies can also provide personal care, helping with hygiene, bathing, dressing, transferring, toileting, as well as all of the housekeeping aspects as well. So that's a home care agency.
Yes.
They frequently get mixed up with a home health agency.
All right, but this is not. This is home care to help you stay independent.
Exactly. There's also adult daybreak programs. Adult daybreak programs are also called adult daycares. Adult daycares are places where you can bring a loved one either while you go to work, so you have a parent who's living with you. You can bring them to the adult daycare during the day, and they have great nutrition programs, socialization programs, activities. It's a great place for them to be. A lot of them consider it their club.
Right.
And then, of course, there's very basic things like medical alert systems, medication reminder systems, which are more mechanical type systems that are available for a monthly fee.
And I'm going to have to stop you now because the options are just so many. We can't get them all in, but we can find out more about Bridges by calling Spectrum Generations.
Absolutely.
And Kristen, you're a wonderful spokesperson for them. Thank you for joining us on Mature Lifestyle, where we live, laugh, and learn. So please join us again for our next show, and thank you for being here today.
Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Hollywood Casino. There's no place like Hollywood. And by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
watching TWC TV, only on Time Warner Cable.